Hi, it's Evelyn. I'm on my way to the Ville right now, so I thought why not take y'all along with me and I can show you where I'm going, some of my favorite places in the Ville, where to eat and all of that. Right now we just passed East Side and we're about to get to the mods, so we're like a 3-minute walk away from the edge of the Ville. But yeah, I'll show you the Ville once we get there. I did a really bad job of filming this, but right behind the tree is La Toscana's. Super casual spot for stuff like paninis and smoothies. And it's also where the OCs had their first hangout dinner. So we have Alta Strada, which is an Italian restaurant, and then the Laughing Monk, which is an all things Asian restaurant. And then we have Wellesley Books, which is a super cute bookstore, and they have a used books cart right outside. I got myself a new read, so excited to read it. And then we have the new Shake Shack that just opened, and fun fact, you can get 10% discount if you have your Wellesley ID. Hi, this is editing Evelyn, but in fact, a ton of stores in the Ville have discounts for students, so if you're not sure, just ask. And that's me being cooked by the sun. It was probably 30-something degrees Celsius that day. So we have our first Starbucks, and across from that is JP Licks, which is an ice cream place. And then we have Cocoa Beat, which is a health foods place, and they have acai bowls and stuff, and right across from it is Orange Theory. Speaking of gyms and stuff, we have a Lululemon, and then there's a paper source which has cute posters and stationaries. And then of course, I have to shout out my favorite place in the Ville, which is Bespoke. I come here every Sunday to do spin class. Across the street is a Chase Bank, and right next to it is a restaurant called Juniper. It serves Mediterranean food and it's super yummy, especially their warm date cake. It's so divine. Behind me is the Wellesley Square that you just saw. The bridge leads to Linden Square, and then right in front is the second half of Wellesley Town. I realized I missed something important. So if you cross that bridge that eventually leads to Linden Square, right underneath it is the MBTA stop, which is the train that can go into Boston or into Framingham. So many orgs will cater lemon tide in their events throughout the year. Riceberg is another East Asian restaurant, and this is where most students get boba in Wellesley. And at the very edge of Wellesley Square, you have Wellesley Bakery. Walking past the Ville, you get to the Wellesley Free Library. It has great study spaces, and you can also borrow books there as well. And at this intersection, if you turn right and walk another 20-ish minutes, you'll get to Babson. So after a 10-ish minute walk from the edge of the Ville, we finally got to Whole Foods. So we just secured the goods. Mostly I just got some fruit that you can't really get in the dining halls, and some snacks and a little bit of protein. And then now we're gonna go to Linden Square. There's a ton of food there. We have like flyables that just opened and it's so good. There's also Sweet Green, which I go quite often, and there's also like a restaurant called The Cottage. There's a Tate. We love Tate here. And there's also a Roche Bros, which is like a Whole Foods, but it's closer to Wellesley, and there's a CVS right next to it, so that's really convenient. So yeah, we'll walk there. So after another 10-ish minute walk, we got to Linden Square, and there's a Qdoba and a Bank of America. And then we have the beautiful Boston institution that is Tate. If you don't know what Tate is, it's basically a cafe. They have great desserts. A little 180 spin action here, because across the street we have some important things, such as flyables and Sweet Green. And right across from them we have our second Starbucks. And then we have a CVS, and then you can't see the sign, but that's Roche Bros. There is an Oath Pizza right around the corner, and I heard it's super yummy. And then I walked all the way back to Wellesley Square because I literally saved the best for last. So that was basically everything I wanted to show you. And of course I had to get Truly's. But I hope that was helpful. See you next time. Also, a ton of Wellesley students work in these shops and restaurants, so if one of them catches your eye, you should definitely keep an eye out and see if they're hiring in the school year.